Have you ever found yourself explaining the same decision over and over, trying to help people understand why you've changed, why you need more space, why you've become quieter, why you're choosing a different pace of life? And yet, no matter how carefully you explain it, some people still don't seem to understand. Hi, this is Moments with Nana. For a long time, that bothered me. I thought, if I could just find the right words, everyone would finally see things the way I did. But lately, I've been learning something different. Maybe peace doesn't come from getting everyone to understand us. Maybe peace comes from being okay when they don't. And perhaps one of the most freeing lessons we can learn is that not every choice requires an explanation. There comes a point in life when you realize that not everyone will understand your choices. And perhaps, even more importantly, not everyone needs to. For a long time, I felt the need to explain myself, to explain why I said no, why I changed my mind, why I needed a little more space, why I no longer had the energy for things that once felt manageable. I wanted people to understand my reasons. I wanted them to see my heart, because somehow being misunderstood felt uncomfortable. It felt unfair. But over time, I've learned something that has brought me a surprising amount of peace. Not everyone is standing where you're standing. Not everyone can see what you've been carrying. Not everyone knows what you've walked through to become the person you are today. And because of that, they may interpret your choices differently than you intended. Some may think you've become distant when you're simply protecting your peace. Some may think you've changed when you're actually becoming more yourself. Some may think you're pulling away when you're finally learning how to rest. And the truth is, you cannot control how others interpret your life. You can spend hours explaining. You can carefully choose every word. You can do your best to help people understand. And sometimes they still won't. Not because they're bad people. Not because you're wrong, but because each of us sees the world through our own experiences. I've come to realize that constantly explaining yourself can become exhausting. It keeps you tied to the opinions of others. It makes you seek permission for decisions that are yours to make. At some point, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you know what is healthy for you. You have to trust that choosing peace, setting boundaries, resting, slowing down, or changing direction doesn't require a committee vote. It only requires honesty with yourself. These days, I find a lot of comfort in that. I no longer feel the need to defend every choice. I no longer feel responsible for making sure everyone agrees with me. If someone misunderstands me, I try to let that be okay, because peace often arrives when we stop carrying the burden of other people's opinions. And there is a certain freedom that comes with being misunderstood, a freedom that says, I know who I am, I know what I need, and I don't have to explain every chapter of my life to everyone around me. So if you're in a season where your choices don't make sense to others, that's all right. Keep being kind. Keep being respectful. But don't abandon yourself just to make everyone comfortable. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to be misunderstood, and the peace that comes from no longer needing to explain why.